You are not addicted to oil. Your scalp has simply been programmed to depend on it. That super dry, extremely itchy feeling you get whenever you stop oiling your scalp, it's not just dryness. It's not just bad hair days. It's actually your scalp going through withdrawals. This is not about vanity. This is about biochemistry. And most of you are stuck in a cycle that you've been told nothing about. We've been taught to oil and grease and slick down our hair and our edges with grease and oil and then tie it up at night so it stays in place until you wake up. See, the real issue is you're not actually feeding your scalp like you think. You're actually feeding the different microbes that live there. So let's talk about it.
I am back. What it do, baby?
Just like your gut, your scalp has its own city of microbiome, its own ecosystem made of different forms of yeast, bacteria, and a parasite. These are just a few of the different forms of yeast and bacteria that live on the scalp. Make sure you check the video link in the description box below because I break down all of them in the playlist below. These organisms are supposed to be there, but when they're thrown off balance, it can cause so many different problems. In the microflora of the scalp, then the microbiome of the scalp can overproduce. It can then feed on your, natural sebum, the natural oil that your body produces, and the dead skin that your scalp holds during your skin cell turnover cycle. This also will trigger itching, different scalp inflammation, and one thing that you will really go crazy for is noticeable thinning. You'll notice that your hair is getting a lot thinner in some places. That's the #1 sign that you'll notice, but things are happening long before it shows up as balding. And you want to know the things and all of these different forms of yeast and bacteria that live on the scalp. You want to know the one thing that feeds them and keeps them alive and thriving the most. Oils, grease, and butter. All that stuff y'all love putting on the scalp. It's his favorite food. It's like a buffet. So the more oil and grease you put on the scalp, the more you're creating a buffet for the different yeast and bacteria that lives on the scalp, especially if you're using synthetic oils or products that are heavy polymer based like the ones that y'all constantly using. Oiling the scalp creates what we like to call a microbial feedback loop. Over time, the more you repeatedly oil and grease the scalp, you train your body to no longer depend on its natural systems. You train the body to say, hey, I don't need the sebaceous gland to produce sebum because I'm gonna just put stuff on the scalp. Even though this stuff that I'm putting on the scalp can't do what the sebum does, you don't need to produce anything else. I got it. And then your body say, girl, okay, do it yourself. So what is the cycle? Let's break it down. #1, you start oiling your scalp from a very young age. #2, the microbes on your scalp begin to overfeed on the different oils, butters, and greases that you're feeding it. Your natural sebum production within the sebaceous gland slows down because the body's getting extra help that it really doesn't need, so it just stops producing it. The overgrowth of microbes inflame the scalp and creates extreme itchiness. Extreme itchiness and dryness that you feel like the only thing you can run to is grease, oil, or butter. But then you feel an over excessive need to add more oils, butter, and greases, not because you need it, but because you've been stuck in this loop since childhood. You then apply more oil because you are now like needing and fiending it. Your body is now dependent upon this cycle, so you feed that need, and then it's like the placebo effect. It takes it away for a minute until the itching gets uncontrollable, and then you start this cycle all over again. This is not just the craving of the mind, but this is more like a biological dependency formed by years and years and years of a pattern that most of you have made your body accustomed to since you were a little girl. So now you here in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and some of you even your 60s and 70s, it's almost impossible to break free. You have literally trained your scalp to be dependent on oil. So whenever you go along the process of breaking that pattern, it's gonna feel weird as your scalp is going through withdrawal. You like a crackhead, but for your scalp.
Tried it one time.
I knew I had. I smell a little crack in you.
Can microbes on your scalp influence cravings? Like, can it talk to you?
Like, girl, get the coconut oil.
So the same way that different forms of yeast in the stomach or in the guts microbiome reacts to sugar, making you crave sugar and things of that nature, it works quite similarly on the scalp. Your scalp has a ton of nerve endings and blood vessels. There are quite a few things that happen whenever the follicle or the scalp, whenever it's inflamed or under attack in any way, like the following. Your body can spike in cortisol, the stress level. Your stress levels can go up. And then your mood and your attitude, it changes to move in the direction to help your body adjust to this discomfort. You start to have different cravings, like certain foods, like certain calming and comforting foods along with oil. Now, you may not want to admit to it, but most of the time when you oiling and greasing the scalp, you also snacking on some shit you ain't got no business. It's not that your scalp is talking to you, right? But your body sends out different signals, right? I taught you in a video before that when it comes to the hair's follicle, your hair's follicle has something called immune privilege, where your hair's follicle is invisible to your body's immune system. But when you add foreign bodies that increase the bodies and the scalp's microflora, right? And you start to increase the forms of yeast and bacteria that live on the scalp by oiling and greasing the scalp, you then trigger the body's immune systems to start attacking the follicle that was invisible to it. The case in point, alopecia areata. If you want to learn more about that, link in the description box below. But let me know in the chat if that was a good example. Give me a medal emoji, some type of medal or like thumbs up in emoji in the comments if that metaphor made sense. When it sends your body in these signals to add more oil or to eat certain foods that push those microbes into the state that they need to be in, then this is where we have our problem. Because the microbes imbalance, by you throwing the scalp off balance, it pushes your system to stay within that loop. You can never get out. It's a never-ending loop that you literally fight and argue with people to stay in. Now, the oil withdrawal is real. And see, the oil withdrawal is the reason why so many of you stay in the loop, because you can't handle it. You just stop oiling your scalp and then you go through this oil withdrawal and it break you. But let's talk about that oil withdrawal so you know what's coming, so it won't break you. Number one thing, the first thing you're gonna notice if you're going through oil withdrawal is flaking of the scalp. This is when all of those layers of dead skin that were supposed to fall off through your natural skin cell turnover cycle begin to actually dry out because you're not oiling the scalp anymore, and then they begin to fall off. It's just your natural skin cell turnover cycle resetting itself. You'll notice itching, extreme itching. You may notice dryness, and most of all, you'll notice a lot of emotional frustration and stress, and you'll be really impatient with your hair. Remember, you are going through withdrawals. This is a pattern in the system that your body has been grown accustomed to since you were a little girl, but it is something that no longer serves you. Why is it feeling like this? Well, the first thing is the microbes that you've been feeding your entire life are now being starved. So now they're panicking, they're eating all of your sebum and everything that's there due to you no longer feeding them. The microbes literally starve. Scalp's barrier is adjusting to being able to moving and functioning properly without additional external support. So you have to give your body a chance to reset to its natural cycles. You can't stop oiling and greasing your scalp on Wednesday after doing it for 30 years and then expect for everything to be okay. You're gonna go through withdrawals. You a crackhead. You will notice a little bit of itching as your sebum production within your hair follicle within the sebaceous gland is working to rebalance itself out. This is where different herbs like red clover tops inside of my moon cycle blend is amazing because it balances the estrogen that helps you balance out your sebum production. So if you're not producing enough, right, it balances that out. If you're not producing any sebum, it balances things out to the point where your body starts producing the right amount. Or if you're overproducing it, like the problem that I have, it's slow, it lowers it a little bit so your body's only producing what it needs. Amazing addition. So you're not crazy and there's nothing that you need to buy. Your scalp is just simply detoxing. You're going through a detoxing process, and that is what my 7-day challenge and what the growth cycle blueprint is all about.
For one, my scalp stopped itching. That was my main issue. The scalp, for years, I would scratch my scalp until it was bleeding in the center.
I've heard, yes.
Oh my God, it was so horrible. It got to a point where it was so bad. I stopped wearing nails. I stopped getting my nails done. I keep my nails cut short now because it was that bad. I didn't trust myself with having nails because I knew
you had to get in there.
Yeah, when I'm sleeping, sometimes, and so it was really bad. But this is the first time in a long time, Miss Sin, where I feel hope. Like my scalp, like I told my mom last night, even when I think about my scalp itching, it does not itch. So it's amazing. It's just so, I never thought my scalp could just stop itching like this. So for that, I just thank you for just your basic knowledge of comments, I guess, like what you cosmetologists learn in school. Thank you. Because
you are so welcome.
Like, it is a game changer. Like, when I talk to my other family members about not greasing, oiling, buttering, creaming, and juicing the scalp, they think it's funny. They think I'm like, oh, that's cute. But I'm like, no,
for real though.
I'm like,
let's try it.
I'm like, it makes sense. Like, why would I clog my follicles up? And I know this is true because I started this thing called dry brushing too, where you take brushes and you dry brush your skin, and it makes your skin so smooth.
Yes.
And,
it's because you're brushing the sebum down. It works the same way on the scalp. Hello, honey. How are you?
Hey, oh my gosh, I'm a little starstruck right now. Can I tell you?
You're a little what? I can't hear you.
Starstruck.
Oh no, stop it. I don't even have eyebrows on today.
So you know what's really crazy? I want to say, I think it was last week or maybe going on 2 weeks ago, your video just popped up. It just popped up on my YouTube feed. I wasn't looking for anything. And as soon as I saw your first video, everything you said just started to make sense. And I mean, I guess I was team natural. I had wrote a comment in one of your videos that about 2 years ago, I am grateful that I found your channel, or your channel found me. And I've learned so much from you. Like your stuff is pretty much on autoplay right now, me. So I am just really, really grateful. And I've noticed like a lot of the things that you've said, for some reason lately, prior to seeing your video, I just have not been putting the oils in my hair. I had braids in my hair. My hair grew after I took out the braids, but one of the things that I did not do when I had the braids in my hair was saturate my scalp with oil. I did not do that. And I realized, number one, my scalp was not as crusty as it used to be. Number two, my scalp wasn't itching as much. And so I'm just like, damn, all these oils and all these sprays, I have to toss them out.
Hi, Sandal. I love you.
Oh,
seriously, you have blessed me so much. No, really, because I fought against listening to you because I was like, there is no freaking way I can go with this gray hair and all this stuff that's going on and menopause and everything. There's no way I can't put oil or something on it. And I got so tired. I just got fed up. And I'm like, I'm either going to do it her way and listen to what the Holy Spirit is telling me, because he was nudging me. Like, every time I click on, you would pop up, hi, y'all. I'm like, oh, here we go. So I had to... So I'm like, okay, fine. I'm going to listen to her and I'm going to go ahead and sign up for the 7-day challenge. And I'm telling you, when you talk about your hair having natural oils, you are right on point. It is not needed. It really isn't. I was buying all your stuff too, by the way. About the brush, the bamboo or whatever, and start at the ends. And I had my notebook and I'm like, okay, number one, she said, do this. So I'd go do it and come back and read. And you're wonderful. And I live in Missouri. I live in Rolla, Missouri. So I've been telling my friends, you need to watch her. Seriously. With that being said, I want to say thank you. Keep doing what you're doing because we need it. A lot of our stuff is genetic and cultural, and we think it's the only way to do it, and it's really not. And I learned the hard way. So you're a blessing. You're educated. You are wise in what you do, and I'm grateful. With that being said, I do have one. I'm telling you, you're going to have all kind of stuff coming against you, but we need you, so keep doing it.
No, before you ask your question, I just want to say that I'm a Cancer, so I'm always this close to a teardrop. And thank you for that, because it is really, really hard, but sometimes fighting up against so many people, but you guys make it worth it, so I don't even care. So thank you for that. But go ahead with your question.
You are so welcome. And know that what you're doing is a God thing, because you have passion and he put that in you. Okay, I'm done, because I can keep going. So the only thing I have,
the difference between the Growth Cycle Blueprint and the 7-day challenge is linked in the description box below. Made a full video about it, but most people's introduction is the 7-day challenge. If you just want to start this cycle all over from scratch and you're already going to go to a hairstylist or a cosmetologist that is going to help you, you know, with your everyday patterns and your routines, with you doing your hair, and you're not trying to do your hair yourself, but you just want to cure this scalp inflammation, cure this hair shaft disorder and all of the things, and reset everything and detox and all of the things, resetting beginning the hair growth cycle, the skin cell turnover cycle from scratch, that is the 7-day challenge. It is the overall detox and reset like nobody's business. And then the 7-day challenge is that next layer up, because once you've torn down all those old things and you need to build new foundations, and you're not a person that wants to go see a cosmetologist or a hairstylist or a braider or anything of that nature, and you want to, for example, maybe learn how to trim your hair yourself, maybe get in touch with round brushing techniques and different things of that nature, like the how-tos. So many times on my channel, people always say, oh, see, you always tell us what not to do, but you never tell us how to do it. I know I don't, because those are the things that are within the growth cycle blueprint. Again, make sure you check the link in the description box below, where I'll go a little deeper into it so you can understand a little more. But moreover, before you ever do that, it's really important for you to understand that the majority of the things that you're doing are for absolutely nothing. So if you just stop with that loop, if you get out of that cycle, then I can almost guarantee you, you'll be good. I don't want to do any more talkings for you. I know a lot of you have been stuck in that oil and grease and loop, but right now you're gonna hear from some gurus. I'm gonna change their voices a little bit just in case y'all, any of their voices are recognizable to y'all. It's none of y'all business, but I'm going to change some of their voices around so you won't be able to hear it. But these are women who took my word for it and did the work, and this is where they're at. And if you hear yourself in any of these women, you could be next with them, you know. But see you later. I don't know how to end it. Peace out to my world for real.